Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and happy Spring Equinox. I have a little bit of a different video here for you today in that this is a pick a card reading for your Spring Equinox message, blessings, and generally like themes and stuff for the spring. So as I said, this is a general reading, so not everything may resonate, but hopefully there's a little nugget of truth in there for you guys to find helpful in this coming spring season. So I want you guys to take a little moment, take a deep breath, and then meditate on which group is the one that is calling to you. Over here for group 1, we have a yellow citrine, and then for group 2, we have a lemon chrysoprase, and then for group 3, we have rose quartz. So I'll let you guys go ahead and concentrate and really let your intuition guide you into which group is the right one for you. And if you are attracted to more than one group, then there's probably a reason for that, so go ahead and feel free to listen to as many of these groups that call to you. Alright guys, for those who picked group 1 with the yellow citrine, let's go ahead and see what your messages are. So we have Love Matters from the Nature's Whisper Oracle. We have the 7 of Wands. We have 13 Death. 3 of Pentacles, and then we have the 8 of Pentacles. So overall, I feel like this is not a bad message at all. The 8 of Pentacles has to do a lot with, you're diligent, you're patient, and you're spending a lot of time to build your stability and work on your skill. Definitely working on the practical application of both your intellect and your skills. So this is very much a craftsman kind of card. You are a craftsman. And then similarly with the 3 of Pentacles, this also has to do with, being sort of a craftsman, an artist. Definitely a lot of artists, craftsmen, people who work with their hands a lot, kind of vibe going on here. And then especially I feel like an interesting message here is that, on one hand, you are like the 8 of Pentacles in that you work solo a lot and you build and you work on your web and all that. But you need to remember that, sometimes not everything can be solved or worked on solo. So that's what the message of like the 3 of Pentacles is. It's very much about teamwork, working together with somebody to build, and work on different projects, achievable goals. Even when they seem impossible, they can be made easy by working with somebody or working as a team. A certain balance. Obviously you have like a figure of a male, a woman, and a male, so the masculine and the feminine. And when I was meditating on these, I was getting the feeling that maybe a lot of you who picked this group may be in school, like high school or college. So this might be a time coming up here in the spring where you have more group projects going on, or even at work. If you're out of school, obviously, and you're in a job, maybe in your job situation, there's going to be more sort of emphasis on this teamwork, and that the basis that you build here of just your own worth ethic is going to help you with the teamwork stuff. But with everything, and then also, everything has a light and a dark, so I left this card in its reverse position, even though this deck in particular, and I don't really believe quite in how the idea of the reverse card is, but I left this reverse as a reminder that this is an emphasis, like this is kind of like a warning of probably, this situation sometime in the spring of being or getting into a conflict of some sort. But it's not, my feeling off this card a lot of times is that this is not a sort of unnecessary conflict. Like this is a necessary conflict to sort of go through and grow from, and that the conflict is not coming from a place of like arrogance, but it's coming from a place of just kind of instinct. Like you are defending, you're taking a stand in your beliefs, and you need to remember to always sort of use courage and faith in that situation. And that, the wands in this particular tarot card are bamboo, and so the message of that is that you are flexible, and that even though this is like going to be a turmoil kind of like conflict, it's going to be hard, but rough winds kind of thing, you won't break under that strain. Like it's a necessary test in a way. So that's just, especially in, a relation, again, to thinking about teamwork, teamwork situations are always mattering on who you're team working with, whether that's a situation where you don't necessarily want to work with a person and they're in that group. It's always going to bring up a little bit of conflict. So that's just like a little thing to keep in mind. But overall, I think this is a great, this card in particular is a really lovely message, especially for the spring season, because this is the death card. And in, the death card, I think some people give it a bad rap, or they misinterpret it on a surface level because of what it is. But really, it's about rebirth, especially with this imagery with the phoenix. You're rising from the ashes, rebirth, life, death, and continuing on the cycle. I think one of the lovely messages from this deck for this card is that I shall survive the change. So, a lot of growth, I feel like, is happening here. Good solid foundation, growing, working on your skills and your craftsmanship. Yeah, there might be a little, conflict at some point, but you're going to grow from that conflict. It's not going to damage you in any way, and you're going to really blossom and rise again from everything. So I definitely feel like the spring is a really good season for those of you who picked this card, this group. So let me go ahead and read you what the message is from this. So, for love matters, the way you handle things is important. The way you handle things is important. There will always be many challenges and life lessons. That is part of the experience. Choose to learn from your encounters. Get your heart ready to receive and allow for various emotions you may be feeling. Consider what makes you happy. It is a time for you to allow yourself a day of enjoyment. Love who you are and be willing to give and receive love unconditionally. So I think that's a really lovely message, especially for this group. Again, especially with the death card, rebirth, you recognizing your own inner strengths and all of that, and really accepting it and flourishing into this new season and this new you, I guess you could say. But yeah, those are the messages I was getting for this group. So thank you all so much for watching. And if this reading resonated with you, make sure to leave a like and a comment letting me know. And if you would like to check out any of my other various social medias and shop links and stuff, that will all be down in the description. So thank you guys so much for joining us. All right, for those of you who picked group 2 with these lemon, however you say this, chrysoprase. I honestly don't. I've looked up how to pronounce this stone like a bajillion times now, and I still can't get it right. So let's just move on. But I like that stone a lot. It's pretty. But this is an exciting group because you guys got 3 oracle cards that popped up. So there's a lot going on here, I feel, for you guys in particular. Let's see. So I feel like maybe those of you who picked this group, you might be a little bit lost right now on your journey, a little bit confused, especially like going into the spring. This stuff is just coming up more because more and more possibilities are coming up, and you're, especially with this card in particular, the 7 of Cups. So this card talks about, there being too many options, like unlimited options. And also generally, like, the feeling I got off this group here was that for you guys, maybe that you are more of like a dreamer, like you're very much up in like your mind, up in the sky, you're thinking a lot. Or it could be that you're very practical, like you're very grounded, but to the point where you're kind of stifling yourself in a way. I don't know, but I definitely off some of the other things here, maybe you're more of that dreamer kind of person. So it could be that, you know, there's all these unlimited options around you, or there's going to be, and you could be that one in this situation where you're pointing up and you're like, what if we could get to this floating citadel? Or maybe, you know, you're the one looking at the map and trying to decide in a logical way to get to the, you know, the grounded castles here, but you're sort of teetering on that edge and that balance. I mean, there's definitely like 3 paths that you can go. Either go for the extreme, go for the grounded, or you could just completely fall off of the edge into the precipice of the unknown. So it's definitely, I was getting a lot of that from this group. And then, again, similar to what I said to the previous group, there's always at least sort of one air of warning or caution here, and that's definitely coming from the... I mean, there is sort of a little bit of that here as well, but in particular, we have the 5 of Swords, which is always about conflict and sort of battles, but sort of a question mark on that of, like, who are you in that situation? Are you the triumph, like... the victor winning the battle, or are you sort of the losing side that's sort of escaping or running away? You know, maybe you've sacrificed too much of your integrity in the pursuit of your own sort of survival or your own goals, thinking very much like, again, sort of stuck inside your head maybe a little bit too much lately, and so you need to be aware of that, especially coming into the spring. Like, I think, again, the spring, again, I'm saying again a lot, like the first group, it's like a lot of new beginnings were kind of in there, and I feel like generally with the spring it is all about new beginnings. So this is maybe the situation you've been in recently, so you need to sort of grow out of that and recognize that. And then we have also the 6 of Pentacles here, which this card has a lot to do with being, you know, obviously this abundance of wealth, you know, material world, but it's also a cycle. So it's about dependencies, the cycle of dependency. So either you are the one with the wealth and you're sort of giving it to others, raining down, and you may not be even aware that you're doing it, but it's helping somebody else to grow or something else to grow, and then that growth helps to support you, and sort of this continuous cycle of sort of support coming from both sides. And so the question is, where do you fall in that cycle? Are you the one who's sort of above sounding the horn and raining down, you know, this wealth and prosperity, or are you the one who's growing from that, and then you're going to be helping that person in return? Sort of those cycles playing out again. A lot of this has to do with choices, and especially when we get into these these oracle cards in particular. Or cards generally like sum up everything in a really nice way, I think. The other card you got here was the Hierophant, which the Hierophant is, you know, secrets, traditions, ceremony, knowledge, deeper meaning of things, you know, rigidity of like belief systems, but also sort of the Hierophant is like that link between the spirit to the material, like grounded world. But in particular, I wanted to read the sort of flowery description of this card, because I feel like it really sort of highlights other things that are going on in these other cards that I'm seeing. So let me go ahead and find the Hierophant. Where is he? He or she. But here we go. Let's go ahead and lift this up so it's a little bit closer, so hopefully you guys can get a better idea of the imagery. But it says, I would like a story, says the salamander to the Hierophant. And what would you like to hear, little one? The words come slowly. Each syllable seems to be drawn from deep within, pulled up from an individual rootlet. The salamander is used to it and patient. I want to hear how I may fly. I was content, and then one day my friend Caterpillar said he was sleepy. He slept for a long time until I nearly forgot him, until yesterday. A moth came to laugh at me. He laughed with Caterpillar's laugh, and with Caterpillar's voice he said that he had a dream of wings. Ah, the sonorous exhalation seems to go on forever. Ah, little one, I'm sorry. Caterpillar has that blessing. He may sleep and dream of flight. He weaves a silken ritual around his body, and then comes the day when the vision transforms him. You, I wish to dream of flight too, says Salamander very seriously. You may dream of it, he says his friend and teacher. I will not be the one to deny you divinity, but just know that your own divinity shall be attained along a different path than caterpillars. Do not relinquish your dreams, Salamander. That really spoke to me for this reading, because again, it's sort of, I feel like maybe for those of you who have picked this group are in that stage right now of being the salamander, where you, again, your head is up in the clouds, you have this great dream, but you're not quite sure how to attain it. And so the Hierophant also kind of suggests maybe a teacher, somebody with a lot of knowledge maybe coming in into your life during the spring. It might be helping you to sort of weave through those different options, but supporting you in a way where you're not giving up on your dream, whatever this great dream may be. Again, but still keep in mind, the Five of Swords, and sort of that question of where you've been recently. I mean, it could be, again, I think these cards will sort of clear that up. Maybe you've had a failure recently that has left you feeling defeated, and so that's even just added more to sort of your lost dreaminess and not knowing which direction to go. But I feel like for this in the spring that there'll be some clarity, both coming from somebody else, and then I think, again, well, let's move on to some of the messages here in the Nature's Whispers. So exactly like what I'm trying to say here is like one of the first ones you got is make a decision. So make a decision, assurance, and then trust your own understanding. So let me go ahead and read you what make a decision has to tell you. Okay, so your sheer determination is highlighted at this time. Your spirit will support your desires and manifestations. The ability to create or destroy has always been within your skill base. You have the wisdom and confidence needed to use these skills constructively. Now is the time to act. If you know what it is you want to accomplish and why, since the powers of transformation are at your command, change your desires into objectives, your thoughts into actions, your goals into achievements. If you've recently met with failure, know you can change that failure into success. The only limits you have are those you impose on yourself. So yeah, I definitely feel like that's definitely in relation to, I think, what the Five of Swords is trying to tell you. Like, this maybe was your recent past, and so this is just reminding you that it's in your power to achieve your dreams and to go for it. You just need to shift and focus from just being sort of in this dreamy dream state of just wishing for things and actually going through the motions of setting it into reality. I can definitely relate to a bit of what this group is going through. Let's see. Now for assurance, again, even more so, they really want to assure you that you guys can definitely do this. So remain steady and be assured you are doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You might be seeing small signs that things, situations, and desires are just beginning to fall into place. Your focus and skills are intact. You will feel motivated in work areas and therefore make good inroads on your usual work. New ways of dealing with things will occur to you. Fresh perspectives will appear, and as a result, your life will move towards harmony and balance. Trust yourself. You have everything you need. Again, this is also a great card for the spring, since you have this transition from sort of the snow to the green. So we're going through that in between where winter is ending, spring is here, and then summer's just around the corner. So you're definitely going to be working through these things during this season. And then the final one here is trust your own understanding, which is card 32. So Information you are receiving is reliable and accurate. Look deeply into the situation before making any commitments. You have the foresight and ability to discern that there is more here than meets the eye. Everything will be revealed in the appropriate time. Don't feel the need to prove yourself. Be patient and allow things to unfold as they will. Trust in your own observations and knowledge. They hold your truth. So, again, I definitely feel that, you know, what is it? I'm thinking here. You know, you might be dreaming so much and like trying to rush things, like, because you want it to happen so bad right now, but things need to sort of take their own appropriate time to develop, as even with yourself, sort of, again, this cycle of growth here. Maybe you are the sapling here and you need more time to sort of stretch out your roots and grow. And again, that kind of is echoed in the Hierophant, because he's all about, you know, tradition and the ceremony and sort of following that process. So I think you need to keep the trust in yourself, and that even though you may have been through some, well, let's say some crap recently, everything will work out. You know, you might be confused because there's just so many ways that you can go right now, but I definitely feel that there's some guidance coming for you, and that to pay attention to all the little signs that might be popping up, synchronicities, you know, messages from your dreams. You know, keep in touch with all of that, and I think everything will work out in the end, and that you'll find a clearer path probably towards the end of the spring and coming into the summer here. So yeah, lots of stuff happening for you guys. But if this message resonated with you, do leave a comment down below and a like on this video to let me know. And if you would like to check out any of my other various social media links and whatnot, that will all be down in the description. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that this message helped you in some way, and I will see you in the next one. All right, everybody. And finally, for those who picked group 3 with the rose quartz, let's go ahead and see what you guys got. So you got 2 oracle cards, You Are Worth It, and Accumulation of Vision. And then the cards that we've got here are the World, the Chariot, the Star, and the Hangman. Like, seriously guys, this group is insane because you have all major arcana cards. Like, that is wild. And while I said with the group 1, definitely I felt like they were going through, you know, a new rebirth, a lot of growth. Group 2, you know, struggling through some things, but I think it'll be a nice outcome in the end. You guys are going to be going through a really, again, like probably the most crazy, I think, of the transformations out of the 3 for the spring. And it's really, really good, like very, very positive. I definitely feel like this is a journey of the soul more so than necessarily like material kind of things. So let's get more into the specifics here. So first off, we got the Hangman. So I feel like this is maybe what you've been going through during the winter, you know, a little bit, you know, you're going to be coming out of it, I think, during the spring. But the Hangman has to do, it's the self-sacrifice card, you know. You've made choices, and now you just kind of surrender yourself to the flow of everything, hanging in that balance, just sort of waiting and seeing what's going to occur. You know, you're tied up, and you're watching. You know, this could also talk about like stagnation. You know, releasing, you know, old things, coming to, you know, a lot has to do with like those choices that you've made, letting go and surrendering to your emotions, and, you know, seeing a new light after this. Like you're in this deep meditative sort of state, and through that process you're going to be coming out of it with a whole bunch of good stuff. Because sort of, again, like these two cards I definitely feel relate to each other, but I'm going to talk about the Chariot next, since I think this is definitely what it's going to be like when you're coming out of that sort of the state of the Hangman, and that's the Chariot, where you're sort of rising, you've found your victory. Like this process, you've won, and now you can sort of return home triumphant. You've gotten mastery over your emotions, you know, triumph through obstacles. You know, you have focused your intent now on, and your will onto what you want to achieve, what you're going after. You know, command over, you know, your power and your authority. Really good stuff going on here. And then of course the Star is kind of like, is also coming out of that, but more of a sort of the spiritual side of things, of, you know, deeper spiritual knowing, I would say, beginnings, harmony, you know, finding your hope and your faith again, for the future, especially tranquility, a lot of peace coming from this. Like you're gonna be coming out of this state with both of these things, this, both the action, the drive of the triumph, and then that more peaceful spiritual side of things, which is all going to help you move forward and achieve whatever goals it is that you've set your sights on and your intent on. And then the end result of that is going to be the world where, you know, this is completion, greater understanding the cycles, satisfaction, more of that peace of mind, achieving balance, realizing what your goals are, putting in, you know, all that hard work, like all the hard work that you put in this stage is going to come to a really great end result. And this is like the ending, and, you know, achieving your heart's desire, and then sitting in that, enjoying that moment. And then from there, you know, the one word of caution that I would say to that is, like, once you have achieved that, the following stage might be, you know, a feeling of like, you could maybe dip back into this. Like, you're not sure, okay, where do I go from this? I have everything now, I've done it. So what's the triumph challenge that I need to go after? Don't necessarily fall into this, but again, the following card, continuing that cycle of the major arcana cards, what comes after the World is just the Fool again, and jumping onto another journey and stepping into that. So definitely the spring is going to be an exciting time for you guys, because you're going to be going through all of this. And then for your oracle sort of messages, let's see, we have the accumulation of visions. So what that says is time to take positive action toward your goals. Again, sort of connecting to, I would say, like these two cards to this one. Positive action toward your goals and dreams. Be adaptable and fine-tune any of the details of what you are creating. Reflect on your desires and make sure your attitudes and beliefs are in alignment with what you wish to accomplish. Let go of any aspect or quality that no longer fits what you intend to accomplish. So let's go ahead and read the next one, which is this one. You are worth it. Such a pretty artwork. Let's see. Okay, 23. You're worth it. The only way you can accept, respect, and cherish others is by accepting, respecting, and cherishing you. Accept praise and credit when it is given to you. When you learn to be accepting, you allow your true potential to blossom. You claim your worth and reflect that light to others. When you see yourself in this light, other people cannot help but respond to your personal sense of value. As you strive toward more self-love each day, you will find yourself infused with new energy. It is okay to walk away from relationships that minimize or hurt you. Enjoy and love who you are. So I would say that definitely pay attention to both of these oracle cards, because I think they're speaking to how to help you better understand how to achieve all of this. So, you know, keep a good sense, an idea of what your goals are, letting go of what doesn't serve you, especially in this stage. Like, I definitely feel like this is going to be a large portion. It has been a large portion of your winter, and then a little bit more, probably the chunk of your spring. And then also remember about, self-love, especially that loving yourself, not letting past hurts from other relationships and onto yourself. Again, that self-sacrificing character. The Hangman always makes me think of Pisces, so, but like, because Pisces tend to be that sign that's all about kind of self-sacrificing and giving more of themselves to other people and not paying attention to themselves enough. I speak from experience since I am a Pisces and I know a lot of Pisces people. So yeah, I think this stage is going to help you, and then keeping all of these things in mind are just going to help you to make those and put that positive action towards what your goals are, and what you want to create going forward. And again, definitely emphasis on especially at this stage, letting go of the things that do not serve you and what is just, it's not needed anymore. Like, especially because when you look at all this, it's like such a lot of new awareness coming in, and this strong growth and sort of revigor of who you are and that power that you possess to, and especially again the emotions, because there's so much water in both of these cards. I feel like, especially with, again, the star has to do with the combination of both water and air and sort of the melding of the two, so the intellect and the emotions coming together to find that new balance. But yes, let's see. Yeah, again, like claiming your worth. Like, definitely, maybe you've been in the past, maybe you haven't felt like you've owned your worth enough. So again, all goes back to the self-love, and strive toward more self-love each day. Definitely be working on a lot of that today, because it's going to help with all your relationships elsewhere. And then people are going to be able to, see that, and they're going to rejoice in it because you're rejoicing in it and all that good stuff. So yes, that is what I'm getting off of this group. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and if this reading resonated with you at all, please do leave this video a like and a comment down below. If you're interested in looking at any of my other social media links down below, definitely check that out. And it's funny because in this group, we got the self-love talking about, and we got rose quartz. So maybe if you don't have some rose quartz jewelry, definitely invest in some rose quartz jewelry now that I think about it. That might be a good stone to help you through all that journey going on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and joining with this reading. So have a great day. Well guys, those were all 3 messages that came from each one of these groups. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you would like me to do more pick a card readings here in the future, because I am thinking about maybe doing one for specifically the month of April, let me know down in the comments. So I hope you guys found this useful in some way, got interesting messages, enjoyed looking at the art on the cards, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day, guys.